Point police are searching for a man who is a suspect in a downtown shooting Sunday afternoon that left one person dead. A major new development today in a shooting Monday afternoon that left one man dead and another critically injured. A group of Lafayette High School students were set to land in Parrish just last night, but of course those plans were changed after the tragedy. Construction on the new Ambassador Town shopping center is in full swing, with many of the new stores already displaying their signage. They say this investigation could last several days. They did say that bodies are still inside of the theater. What are your thoughts on this situation happening right here in Lafayette?
Well, you know, the comments are, can't believe this is Lafayette, and quite honestly, it's personal for me. My daughter was in the same theater in the same row as the shooter. I'm
hearing that at least 7 or 8 have been sent to a local hospital with several injuries. So we'll have more information as it becomes available. Live in Lafayette, Jazmin Thibodeaux, KLFY News 10. Well, Governor Jindal will be arriving here very shortly. Colonel Mike Edmondson with State Police will soon be flying in right here in just a few minutes. We're going to try and do an interview with him later in the show. 25 tickets were purchased for the screening of Trainwreck. I spoke to a professor and a UL Lafayette student who were both inside of the screening and heard when the shots were fired. Eyewitnesses say the fight that led to the death of 16-year-old Antoinette Roche all started in this area here of Meadow Apartments in Crowley. As many locals head to the beach this summer, there have been concerns over flesh-eating bacteria. Sycamore Point is a favorite in Acadiana. One beachgoer, Erica Bourne, says she noticed health officials checking the waters when she arrived. Parisians and Lafayette people have a lot in common, like the French language, our heritage, and culture. That was the message many speakers conveyed at a rally for Paris held in downtown Lafayette. Out of Lafayette Parish, the Grand Theater victims and the families of victims have started receiving money that was raised on their behalf. Our partners at the Daily Advertiser say Pixis Digital Printing has given $260,000 to the wounded. St. Landry Parish firefighters were on the scene of a major house fire earlier this evening. Here is video from the scene. The blaze started around 5 p.m.
What more can you tell us? What is the latest at this hour?
We actually just finished a press conference where Lafayette Police Chief Jim Craft gave some more information, as well as Colonel Mike Edmondson with State Police and Governor Bobby Jindal. We spoke to Chief Donald Thompson just a few minutes ago, who says that Ballard was shooting from this part of Madison Street into this area of the apartment complex where many people were standing. If you look closely behind me, you can see 2 bullet holes in this white door right here. Shelton August Jr. was killed around 9 a.m. this morning by a Union Pacific train when he was crossing over these railroad tracks on his bicycle. Now, this part of Eunice police responded to an armed robbery at this St. Landry bank around 9/11 this morning. Chief Randy Fontenot says a suspect, Benjamin Guillory, is now in custody. After many protests along this sidewalk by parents and alumni at Sacred Heart in Ville Platte, Principal Diane Fontenot has now resigned effective immediately. As of today, 6 same-sex couples were in and out of these doors at the Lafayette Parish Courthouse, where they received their marriage licenses. One couple, who have been together for 36 years, even got married today, making them the first couple to get married in Lafayette Parish. As we know, we've seen rain from last night into this morning. I'm actually still standing in 5 inches of rain, and further out, there's about 10 inches. It was much deeper this morning, but the water is slowly receding. Tuesday marks Theo B.G. Levier's second day on the run from the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office. Ville Platte Deputy Marshal Horace Johnson was the one who found Levier when he escaped back in February. After nearly 2 weeks on the run, 21-year-old Theo B.G. Levier is behind bars once again. Sheriff Bobby Guidreau says Levier was captured in Eunice Thursday afternoon. St. Landry Parish used to be called the yam capital of the world in the 50s and 60s, but now in the 2000s, times have changed. A live crawfish this size or smaller could become illegal to sell if a pre-filed bill by a Louisiana state representative is passed. Medical marijuana has been legal in Louisiana since 1991 in use of treatment of 3 diseases: glaucoma, epilepsy, and cancer. But over 20 years later, questions about where it will be grown and how it will be prescribed have never been answered. Senator Fred Mills says if Bill 143 is approved, it could be grown in a field like this one. The Lafayette Parish school system is still facing a looming deficit. Board members say it's between $16 and $18 million. In order to decrease this deficit, increasing the student-teacher ratio is now up for discussion, which doesn't sit well with parents.
What's more important? A deficit in our budget or a deficit in our students' academics? I don't know where the money should come from, but I do know as a parent If my kid starts to fail academically because ratios are heightened, there's going to be a larger problem to solve.
Casey Broussard's son is a student at J.W. Falk Elementary, one of Lafayette Parish's failing schools. More students added to each class means less teachers needed in the school system. Annette Tyler, a teacher at the school, says it's hard to help and discipline students when there's a large number of kids in the classroom.
Kids need the attention from their teacher. If they put more kids in the classroom, it will not give the teacher enough time to deal with the kids that really needs the support.
Board member Mary Morrison agrees. She hopes the board is able to balance the budget without raising the teacher-student ratio.
If we go ahead and put more kids in the classroom, I'm afraid we won't see the progress with our already low-performing schools.
Broussard experienced what it's like to have a smaller number of students in the classroom.
Relationships with our teachers are better. You get more one-on-one attention when you need that help. Behaviors are better. So of course, I think that my son does very well in his classroom because he doesn't have as many students.
Morrison says at Wednesday's Finance Committee meeting, more options of decreasing the deficit will be discussed. In Lafayette, Jazmin Thibodeaux, KLFY News 10.